everybody. Welcome to episode 20 of the podcast, a one-on-one conversation. I'm your host, Juan Sun. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 제이든 손입니다. And today, my guest is Alex Lampa. Would you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
What's up, guys? How are we all doing today? I hope we're all staying safe and whatnot. My name is Alex Lampa. I'm 19 years old. I study business administration over here at University of Buffalo. I'm from Flushing, Queens, New York, and my main interest lays in entrepreneurship side of business.
Thank you for coming on the podcast, man. Could you give could you give the audience a little bit of background on how we know each other?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I do contact a lot of people, a lot of people on LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Those are usually my main platforms to reach out and contact people. And that's just a regular thing I do. A part of my business, I do reach out to other people, whether I know them or not. I'm always willing to create conversation and see if I could add value to somebody's day. So I basically messaged you on LinkedIn. I saw you do podcasts, and I was like, hey. This may be somebody that I could possibly collaborate with in the future. And it was like, hey, why not? I loved speaking to, young people, especially people who work in that field, specifically podcasting, because I think that's an amazing business and industry to work in.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bold, though, just reaching out to strangers without any context. Where'd that come from?
Of course. And I'm going to be honest, that's literally what I do all day, because there's 7 billion people out there in the world, and I'm looking to help a couple people out of those couple billion. And it's just part of my personality to just reach out to people I don't even know, and from there build up a relationship and add value and just see if I could add a helping hand. If I can't help them, I'm always willing to point them in the right direction if I can't serve them.
What's your parents' role in your personality, actually? If you don't mind.
Honest, my dad's a very big introvert. He's kind of more of a listening type of introvert. He doesn't really say much, do much. He's kind of just part of the household. He works his 9 to 5 over at JP Morgan, so he has a very high position, but I don't really see him that much, especially when I'm back home. He's always at the office working. If he's not at the office working, he's at home working, and if he's not at home working, he's playing golf. So that's basically my dad. My mom actually works in insurance. And she's a very extroverted type of person. She talks like a lot. I don't mean like a lot to the point where it annoys you, but, she could create a very good conversation. And, she's very good at building relationships, even with people she doesn't know. And, that's something I really took away from my childhood is that, hey, everybody you meet in this strange thing called life, we're all going to be strangers one way or another. It's just a matter of, hey, do you want to stay strangers or would you like to build something together and, add some value?
Mm-hmm. So do you think that, considering that we're both, before I ask, are you Filipino, Asian?
Yeah, I'm Filipino.
Okay, great. So, kamusta, by the way. So that's almost like a very consistent story I hear, like the Asian father being a very, not introvert, but very stoic type of approach. And did you ever find yourself almost falling into like the Asian mentality of like striving for success and all that though?
Yes and no. I do have the usual drive, the usual Asian man does to, really succeed in life and whatever I choose to do. But, a lot of Asian people, we're just taught from a very young age, like you got to go to school, you got to get good grades. If you don't get good grades, you're a bum. If you don't got to go to college, you're going to be a bum. If you don't work in corporate America, you're going to be a bum. And, that's kind of like the culture that's really behind, our parents and, the way they were raised. And my main focus is to kind of change that narrative, especially with our generation. It's like, hey, whether you choose to work in corporate America, whether you choose to go to college, you can still thrive in whatever you choose to do. Just because you have a title doesn't mean you're going to be super successful in the future. A title is just a title at the end of the day.
That mentality about your perception of life, it's very intriguing to me about how you stay so positive. Do you let any negativity get to you?
Oh no, but definitely I face negativity every day, you know. What I do, entrepreneurship, you know, it's not a social norm. I'm gonna be honest with what you're doing, podcasting, you know, that's not a social norm either. And you know, anything that isn't a social norm, anything that isn't taught in school or from a young age, you're obviously gonna get some criticism. And a lot of people are gonna be negative, and a lot of people who I thought were close to me, social wise, you know, when I talked about this business, you know, they try to bring me down. You know, it was just negative. It was like, oh, you sell household products. Oh, it's like, oh, I sell this thing called water, stuff everybody uses every day. And you know, for some reason, you know, that turns some people off. Like I bet that if I was selling cars insurance or something flashier, you know, people would be like, yeah, man, you're doing great for yourself. But you know, that's not really my thing. My goal isn't to live my dream in terms of somebody else's opinions. My goal is to live my dream on my own terms, you know, because everybody has an opinion, man. Every single person has an opinion on what you're doing. Every single person, but everybody's gonna be talking about you, but nobody's ever gonna say how they're gonna set your family up for success, or how they're gonna pay your rent, or how they're gonna build generational wealth for you. You know, everybody has an opinion, man. Everybody. When I first started the business, man, a lot of people in my organization, a lot of people in my fraternity were like, "Oh, what you're doing is illegal, immoral, improper. It's a pyramid scheme. It's not legit." And you know, I just took all that negativity, and that's really just my burning. That's my burning desires to, you know, just prove everybody who said, "Oh, you can't make it," to actually make it. You know, I think that's extremely powerful to really rise above the adversity, to rise above all the opinions, all the hullabaloo, and to really actually go out there and do it and prove to other people like, hey, there may be opinions, there may be negativity out there in the world, but it's really just up to you whether you're going to rise above it. It's either you take that negativity and you use it for your fire, or you just take that negativity and do nothing with it. That's all it really is.
Two things. So one, you just put some light onto it, which is the business. We'll get into that a little bit. And then two, how you use the negativity for motivation, right? When I've heard the saying before where instead of trying to prove other people wrong, or yeah, how about proving the right people right? Did that ever pop up into your head?
Of course. And, you know, that's the best part about my business is that, you know, I'm not doing this all by myself. I have a group of mentors who are actually leading me on how to build a business properly, and they're helping me on my journey. And, you know, whenever I face some negativity, I always think to myself, like, hey, you know, my mentor is counting on me. The people I got into business with, they're counting on me. The people I sponsor, the people I'm helping right now to build their business, they're counting on me. There's nobody else they're counting on. They're counting on me. So my main goal is to, you know, really just help other people, and you know, help other people get to their dreams and goals, because once I could help my friend hit his dreams and goals, my dreams and goals are automatically going to be fulfilled. You know, my success is dependent on my friend's success.
Well, actually, that's the thing. I'm like you, where I do receive joy about seeing other people succeed, right? Helping others for others, right? But then when I talk about it with other people, they bring up in a not in malicious fashion. They say, you know, yeah, but eventually you got to worry about your own personal needs, your own personal wants, right? You can't just be for others, everybody, everybody, everybody. It has to be about yourself at one point. So when do you make it about yourself or be quote unquote selfish sometimes?
The time I get selfish, at the end of the day, that's when I'm really selfish. I really pride my time and, you know, my effort a lot. You know, I just don't sit on a meeting with any Joe Schmo off the street. You know, I value my time a lot, and you know, I'm a very busy man. I have a lot of meetings to go to, but you know, it's all about, you know, for me, it's just allocating my time correctly. I'm not gonna sit with some guy who's just negative just to hear his opinion on what I do. You know, that just makes no sense.
Could you tell me actually, because I made sure that this is organic, guys. This is actually the first time he's explained the business to me and to you guys. So could you explain the business to me?
Of course, and I'm gonna explain it in a very simplistic terms. Basically, the old way of marketing would be like this. You know, you pay a guy like, I don't know, Michael Jordan, $5 million to sell perfect water on TV, and that's a celebrity endorsement, and that's the old way of marketing. But instead of paying Michael Jordan, a crap load of money to not even sell the products. They compensate regular people like me to actually sell the products on their own e-commerce website. And basically, I just get compensated on the movement of the products. I get compensated on my productivity, not on my position. And on top of that, I also am part of a mentorship program called Brit Worldwide. My mentorship program has been in business for over 50 years. It's approved by my manufacturer, and it's just a ton of success that I'm just seeing, especially now, ever since I made the decision to really go forward with the business.
So you have higher ups, though.
What's up?
So do you have higher ups to talk to or to check with?
I mean, of course, I have access to hundreds of people that's been extremely successful in the business to the point, where they don't have to work 9 to 5s or be a part of corporate America. They kind of have that choice whether or not they want to work or not. And I think that's very, very powerful, because you don't meet somebody every day and they say, hey, I have access to, people who have achieved economic and personal freedom, and I have access to hundreds of them all within my fingertips. That's something that's very rare. That's something that's very uncommon. But to answer your question, I do not really have higher ups. I don't have somebody bossing me around saying, hey, you have to produce X amount of this at X time. It's not really like that. It's more like, hey, we're in business together, so we're going to help each other.
Is that also one thing, like a motivating factor, to be your own boss, not have anyone else tell you what to do?
Oh yeah, no, that's straight up my main motivation factor. It's because a lot of Asian Americans, a lot of us are controlled by time and money because our parents teach us from a very young age, like, hey, you need to go get a good job and you need to go get a good education. A lot of Asian Americans do end up taking out tens of thousands of dollars of student loans, and they enter the workforce and they're kind of stuck working in the workforce forever, like till they're 60 years old, because they have to pay off first the student loans, and then have to go get a mortgage out for the family, then they have to go pay for the kids, and then the wedding, and then blah 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 blah. There's just tons of expenses that comes with living life. And my main focus is just having choices in my life, because I feel that a lot of Asians are just stuck at their office jobs, just collecting a paycheck and not really living their true purpose in life. My main goal is to live whatever God put me on this earth for.
Sometimes, because there is a story like this in my family where one of my relatives, because of the Korean War, you had a job like, I don't know, a professor would be out of the question, right? Because that doesn't put food on the table compared to a farmer, right? So my grandfather had to do it, right? Despite his aptitude in other fields, right? So so I think that was one thing for a lot of Asian parents, because a lot of our parents and the parents before them, they went through a lot of wars, a lot of political instability, for example. I think that came up so much where our parents just decided to just do it for the greater good, right? Because regardless of how I feel, I need to ensure that, or regardless of my pain or how much I'm struggling with, I need to be able to support my family because of how crappy of a situation I'm in right now.
Of course, man. And that's the main reason, a lot of Asian Americans leave their respective countries and homelands. It's because, they come to America to really run away from socialism and totalitarianism to the land of true opportunity. And, I think opportunity is everything, but I think opportunity is a little bit more than just having a 9 to 5. I think opportunity means to live an unequal life or live an extraordinary life on your own terms.
Do you think opportunity is something that you kind of wait for, or you grab it by the balls, essentially?
Wait, what did you say? Wait. What do you say?
So do you think regarding opportunity, is it something that you should like kind of wait for, quote unquote, or two, you grab it and you control your own destiny type of thing?
That's the thing. I'm going to answer you with this. It doesn't matter how perfect an opportunity is or how good it looks. It's going to be useless if you're not the right person, if you're not willing to take action. I presented this opportunity to PhDs and master's degrees and, these very statusy people. And, they're just not interested because they're just in such a higher up position in life that they're like, oh, why do I need to go ahead and create leverage for myself? All I have to do is just work that 9 to 5 and 10 foot forward, 10 foot back, get my paycheck, and then go back home and do it all over again.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I watched this documentary with this Korean American family, and if you guys don't know, in the Flushing area, a lot of Korean Americans run small businesses, whether it's a laundromat or a dry cleaner or
Mhm.
restaurants. These are tough jobs, really,
Oh,
a lot of physical labor, and but even though they're 50s and 60s, they still have to work. Because if you guys don't know anything about Queens, it's expensive out there.
hmm
It's getting worse every year. So, especially on top of the lease and whatever's going on in the house and the groceries, and if you got kids and you got insurance, it just sucks, right?
of
And I'm just talking about for the Queens because I lived in Queens, specifically Flushing, just like this man right here. And talking to my dad about how much he had to struggle coming here to America, where he could not speak English. He kind of could read. Oh man, it was a struggle though. And then taking a college level course in English and in language that you do not understand as much as you do. When I saw this documentary, as well as hearing my father's experiences, and then you just kind of mold the picture together, kind of mend them, you see that, you know, you as kids like us, right? Kids of children of immigrants in this time right now where the internet's legit, like we mastered the internet. You and I
oh yeah,
has mastered it. We cannot be just like this. We're set up so much. You're literally on the springboard, and all you gotta do is just pull that. And pulling it is either through effort, concentration, dedication, discipline, etc. Right? But people just like don't even grab the thing that's holding it there. It's just like you can't spring yourself for whatever reason.
exactly. And I completely agree with you. Say, a lot of Asian Americans, a lot of Asians do run small businesses, but the problem is that basically what they did with their business, they bought themselves a job. If
Yeah.
you bought a deli right now, you probably have to be there because if you're not there at the deli, how is it gonna do business? So basically, with owning a small business, it's like it's basically buying yourself a job, and that doesn't really create leverage. But that's really what I'm trying to change, especially with my business, is not to make it like my job, but to kind of make it something that I could possibly live off of, and kind of just put myself through school with, and feed my family with, and really just thrive in the future. I think that's something that you don't really hear that often. You don't hear a lot of 19-year-olds really aspiring to do what I do, or really aspiring to do what you do. Like what we do is not a social norm. I bet you people told you when you told them about the podcast, they're like, bro, you're gonna do podcasts? Like, bro, why don't you go get a job or something? I've been told that so many times. Like, bro, you're gonna be in business for yourself. Why don't you just go get a job?
Why is that, bro? Why is that? Why does that happen? Where, go get a job, go get a job, go get a job, go be a barista at Starbucks.
Yeah, man, I've heard that phrase "get a job" too many times, man. I don't know. I feel that a job is just an acronym for just over broke, because I've never heard of a guy who built generational wealth or extreme amounts of wealth through a 9 to 5, because that never happens. You're always limited by time. Especially when you're working, you can't go up to your boss and be like, "Hey, boss, I need X amount of dollars. Let me work 25 hours in 8 days." That just doesn't work.
Just sometimes when I look around me, people that are in 9 to 5 jobs, or they're homeless, or whatever the decisions are, right? I'm just thinking, the internet's right there, right? You can go into Starbucks, for example, for free internet, and then you could just, really market yourself. I'm thinking, why don't you actively try to progress yourself? Where is this desire to stay complacent unintentionally, subconsciously, or unintentionally, etc.? Where does it come from exactly? This level of complacency that I see way too many times
Can I tell
from
you
kids
something?
like us.
Can I
What's
tell
up?
you something just to answer your question straight off the bat? I think it comes from a lack of dream. From when we were kids, I'm talking like when we were in kindergartens, everybody had a dream. You talk to little Johnny. Little Johnny says, "Hey, I want to be a basketball player." You talk to, little Joe, and he's like, hey, I want to be a millionaire. We teach kids from a very young age to, have a dream. But as we go on in life, as we get to middle school, high school, college, and, corporate America, that idea of having a dream, it just poofs. Nobody ever in school, nobody in college or high school ever walked up to me and said, do you know the importance of having a dream? Do you know the importance of having big visions, having big goals, wanting a little bit more in life? Like, schools will never teach you on how to properly set goals or how to even have a dream, because having a dream, I think it's the best thing you could do for yourself, hands down. Well, a man without a dream, what are we? We're just sacks of just flesh, just meandering through life, just not knowing what we want and, not making new innovations, kind of just there, breathing.
Are you afraid of failure?
What's up?
Are you afraid of failure?
Yes and no. I know I'm going to fail at some point, but I wouldn't say like, hey, I'm deathly scared. Like, I'm hiding in the corner. Like, failure, don't hurt me. Like, it's not one of those things. It's more like, hey, I'm going to make some mistakes and some failures down the road. Why not make them now and just get it over with? Because, failure is the foundation of everything. If you want to get good at the piano, you're probably going to have to screw up a couple times playing some notes. You're going to have to fail a couple times and then you're going to get the hang of it. That's all it really is. Failure is the foundation of success.
But sometimes, though, I feel that failure is certainly a great teacher. I find that it teaches me more than success, absolutely. But thing is, though, there's only so much a man can take or a woman can take in this matter, where failure, right? What do you think is a good resolution to that?
Wait, I didn't understand the question exactly. Can you reword it?
Can you hear me, though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So when they finally fail, a lot of people keep failing and failing, and it just screws up with their mental health, right? Where they just are just so tired of failure, and it just destroys their confidence in themselves. Do you ever dealt with those kind of people, where it just seems like nothing is going right at all?
My resolution, the only thing I could say is, hey, the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you fail, you're going to have to try something new. If that thing you tried that was something new didn't work out, you try something that's new again. It's not about just willing to fail. It's more of willing to change, willing to kind of change up what you're doing and, just adapt. I think adaptability is a very important thing in life because especially with COVID and everything, everybody's trying to adapt. Everybody's trying to adapt to e-learning. Everybody's trying to adapt to the new world, social distancing, the working from home, the whole world's changing. The world's changing every day. It's either we change with the world or the world changes us.
We change with the world changes us. That's good, though. I'm not glad. We go. Wait, I already forgot the phrase. I have a horrible memory right now. You said,
If anything, you could just go back to the recording.
yeah, facts. No, don't worry, guys. I'm sure you'll enjoy my mishaps. Because for me, when I'm going to be graduating soon, right? Next year, and then I will way too many times where people have told me they just remind me that the reality of, bro, graduation's coming up, and you're gonna have to be working sooner or later. You're gonna need a job and all that. And that, I'm not gonna lie to you, that just intimidates me so much because I'm young, quote unquote, but how much of my youth do I have to sacrifice to work and all that for the stability? Because it's almost like as I'm growing up, people preach to me, "Oh, you're young. You're supposed to be struggling. You're supposed to be doing this." And I'm thinking, "But why? Why can't I just have success now? As I'm working hard for it and all that." You ever thought about that?
Of course, all I could really say is this, if you really just want something, you're gonna have to really chase it. With the business, I'm gonna be honest. Nobody wants to buy a product. Nobody wants to launch in business with me. But everybody wants to have clear skin. Nobody wants to buy the skincare products. Everybody wants great health, but nobody wants to buy my vitamin products. Everybody wants to have a very large and profitable business, but nobody wants to go ahead and work for it. And I think half of what makes success what it really is just showing up and being willing to just show up early, leave late, do whatever it takes plus a little bit more, because you can't find those people, especially with our generation. We live in a very socialistic generation where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter how much it doesn't matter what place you finish in the race, we're still all the same. I absolutely hate that when people try to make it seem like, hey, like everybody's equal. Like, no, some people are not equal. Like LeBron James is not equal to me and you. That dude's on a different level.
So are you willing to almost swim past others to get to your goal type of thing? Even if it means cutting off relationships that you thought was real and it kind of stings you a little bit.
I mean, of course, especially with the negativity I received from my friends, I didn't cut them off, but I kept my distance because negativity spreads. I don't want to be negative. If you're hanging out with a dude with a cold, you're probably gonna get a cold. And I really just distanced myself from the whole social scene, the party scene, and that type of thing. I don't really see my future, just working at 9 to 5, and I got to do something about it. It's not like my business is just gonna poof, like, oh, like I'm a multimillionaire now. Cool. I got to work towards that. You got to put in some type of pain and some type of effort to really reach that level. Nobody's ever gonna do it for you. You just got to do it yourself.
Oh, I'm sure you're probably aware of this, but how do you keep yourself from overworking? Or is that
Um,
even a thing for you?
that's not really a thing. I'm gonna be honest. My schedule is like 24/7. Um, on top of like school, I also work my retail 9 to 5, and I just manage my company whenever I can, whether I'm using the bathroom or whether I'm taking the bus or whether I'm walking down the street. I'm gonna build the business one way or another, whether it's just me selling some dude some perfect water or just creating a conversation with somebody, because it's the little things that really add up. It's really the little small habits that lead on to bigger things.
So I know your schedule is 24/7, but at the same time though, do you allow yourself to um, de-stress, relax
Mm,
by doing hobbies, etc., activities outside of work and all that?
Not really. I'm gonna be honest. The business I do is already kind of my hobby, and it's kind of like my de-stressor from school and work. The business I do, it's not like I'm filling out paperwork all day. I'm just talking to people and I'm creating conversations. And I'm a very I'm a very ambivert type of person. So, I don't mind talking to people, and I don't mind talking to sharp people such as yourself, because, I absolutely love talking to sharp people. I don't like talking and spending my time with, people with no ambitions, no goals, or no dreams. I think that's just a waste of my time and their time. I'm just looking to speak to people and possibly collaborate with people who have a dream.
When do you decide, hey, I should stop investing my time into this person compared to versus, oh, this person actually needs my attention essentially when it comes to dream making, inspiring, etc.
I mean, I could tell straight up, like, whether it's a Zoom call or in person, I could tell whether the dude's serious or not. I could tell by the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves, the way they hang their head, the way they talk to people. I've been in the business for only 4 to 5 months, but, I've gained that much experience in such a short time that I could tell when somebody's serious or not. I could tell when a guy has no ambitions or no dreams. I only talk to people with a dream. I don't got no time to waste on a dude who just wants to sit in front of the TV all day, drink the beer, and watch Sunday night football. Those aren't the type of people I'm looking to collaborate or talk to.
Mm. So I'm assuming you're assessing for those qualities when you get to the position of you hiring employees.
That's the thing. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I do not employ people like that. Like I do not have any employees. I don't have any warehouse workers. I don't have any accountants or anything. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a system of just business owners because an employee, if I hired some guy, he's not going to respect me a lot because employees don't really respect their bosses. It's a psychological thing. And if somebody's in business with you, if they're a business partner and a fellow business owner, that's completely different. It's not like they're working for me, they're working for themselves.
Can you give me an example of a business partnership that you all have done?
Pardon?
Can you give me an example of a business partnership that has been done before?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what it means to really be in business and what I do from a day-to-day basis. Basically, what I do on a day-to-day basis, I listen to a tape created by some of my mentors in the mentorship program I'm part of. I listen to 1 or 2 tapes a day. I read for 15 minutes. I contact some people. I use my products, and that's it. That's all I really do. And I just keep in communication with my business partners, and that's all I really do. It's not really that complicated when it comes to day-to-day tasks.
Do you feel that imagine as a parallel lines, right? You're schooling right now. This is UB, and then this is what you're doing on the side as your job, right? Do you feel that how do we say this? There's a positive relationship, meaning as your schooling is going up, your business is going up, or your business is going up and your schooling is going up. Like, are they working hand to hand very nicely with each other?
Yeah, I mean, of course, because for me, the business is all just a mindset thing, and school is all mindset. You don't have to be a genius to go ahead and get good grades in school. It's more of an attitude and a mindset thing. Like, hey, I'm gonna hand in this assignment. I'm gonna talk to the professor. I'm gonna make sure he knows my name, and I'm just gonna take it from there. It's all mindset, really.
Mm. Speaking of mindset, then how about this? Do you wait? How much value do you have? Oh, okay, I have plenty of. So regarding mindset, do you believe in working harder or working smarter then?
Oh, working smarter.
Working
Absolutely
smart.
100%, man. Because, you know how many fast food or minimum wage workers, who say, man, I work really hard. When I mean really hard, I work really, really hard. That's because, school just teaches you and life just teaches you how to work hard. They don't teach you how to work smart. And you look at people who build successful businesses, they don't work hard. They do work hard, but they work even smarter. They don't have to focus. The CEO of Starbucks doesn't have to work hard in the sense of, oh, I have to be at the Starbucks and serving people coffee. He's working smarter in terms of, hey, how am I gonna expand Starbucks? How am I gonna reach the people I want, and how am I gonna expand it further?
The decisions he makes to progress his business, right? They fall on a certain line of ethics. Do you have a certain line of ethics when it comes to business? Not just like your day-to-day life. I'm just saying your business ethics.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna give you like some of like my personal rules when it comes to business and that and whatnot. When it comes to possibly collaborating with people, I keep a very high standard. I don't take people who reschedule 3 times. I don't collaborate with people who aren't serious. I don't collaborate with people who just aren't serious. I keep a very high standard for myself because I value my time a lot. I'm a very busy guy. And I don't have time to be dealing with dilly dallies. I'm looking to work with the serious, not the curious.
Yeah, that's curious. Where did the curiosity emerge in your lifetime for
Um,
this lifestyle?
oh, like the curiosity of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, how it got you to this point.
Well, honestly, it all stemmed from me being quietly desperate. March hit. I had no job. COVID was going around. Everybody was locked inside their houses, and I was really just thinking about my personal future, what I wanted to do in life, and I saw the way my dad worked. He works really, really hard. Due to works like 18-hour days, and that's not even like that's like in the office and at home. Like this dude just works all the time. And, I wanted something a little bit more than that. I don't want to be stuck inside of a cubicle on Wall Street working thousands and thousands and thousands of hours throughout my lifetime. And, by the time I'm 65, I'll just be like, oh, where did the time go? Like, no, like I just wasted that time. And, entrepreneurship, I think, is a viable vehicle to really get the lifestyle I want, which is, not living under another man's terms, kind of just living on my own terms and really living the life I want to live, because entrepreneurship is the number one way to go when it comes to reaching economic and personal freedom.
Entrepreneurship, do you find that the entrepreneurship community / market is oversaturated?
Yes and no. It is very oversaturated on social media when it comes to like Gary V, Grant. I absolutely hate those type of guys. I'm gonna be straight up. Like they speak some motivating words, but Grant Cardone is not gonna help you become a multimillionaire. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna fly over to you and be like, "Hey kid, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna mentor you." They're just in it for the money. They don't give a crap about you. And same thing with these Instagram people that like run Shopify and all these other e-commerce platforms. They're just out there trying to get your money, honestly. And I've seen thousands of online entrepreneurs, and there's not a single business opportunity that even matches what I do currently, because I've looked into many different entrepreneurship ventures, looked into Forex, looked into insurance, a bunch of other things, stocks, and those really it really didn't interest me, just like how this business did.
Well, I'm assuming you love Forex then.
No, no, I can tell that about those types of guys. I'm gonna be straight up. What they're doing is I work in the same industry as them. What they're doing is completely illegal. It is. I don't even know if I want to get into that, because I could talk about what the hell they're doing and the legalities of it all day. All I'm gonna say is they're not doing stuff that is approved by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Just to put it at that.
Well, I think way too many of my kids I graduated high school with just falling into the Forex, and they're just saying like, yo, thousands of dollars every single day. I'm racking it up, baby. I'm thinking, are you sure?
You do realize that, they have to pay capital gains tax. And, with Forex, they're basically trading penny stocks. And, once I heard that, I was like, all right, there's no possible way they're generating like actual wealth through Forex. Like, you never heard of a millionaire put billions into Forex or that type of market. No, they put it into an actual stable market, like the stock market. I think those Forex people, they're like a cult, man. Literally, follow one of them, they all start following you. Oh my God. Like, I could go on all day about Forex. What they're doing is essentially a pyramid scheme. I'm gonna be hella straight up with you. It's a pyramid. Like, literally, the way a pyramid scheme works is there is no products or services. What the hell are Forex people selling? They're selling signals. They're selling trade signals. All right, that seems very sus. And second of all, pyramid schemes are all position based, and all the ranks there, the chairmans, they're on top, and all the other platinum dudes who are making like nothing, they're on the bottom. It's all a position based business. That's all it really is. It's man, I wouldn't get into that business if I were you.
Well, one business I would love to be in, actually, especially because of certain podcasts like this, where I've been really educating myself on the CBD industry, where really once it gets fully legalized, and then once the logistics get figured out and all that, I'd be really interested in it because of the benefits that it offers.
That's awesome, man. I actually have a bunch of CBD products in my store. If you want, I could send you some. You're in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably give you some if I'm on campus and stuff. I'm going to be ordering a bunch soon. But, CBD is a very lucrative business. It's still a growing business, matter of fact. I think it's amazing. I think it's the best.
Scary, though.
I think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, it's scary that it's still growing, and it's already pretty big right now.
Oh, yeah. I still think it has put potential amount of growth to go through. I think it has a ton of potential for sure.
What industry intrigues you then right now? It's emerging.
E-commerce, because if you think about it like this, all these physical businesses like Macy's, JC Penney's, Nordstrom, all those businesses where like it's like, hey, I have a location, I have employees, and it costs a crap ton of money to start up. You know, those are the type of businesses that's kind of the old age of doing business. The new age of doing business is kind of like Airbnb. You know, they're the largest taxi company, but they own zero taxis, and they also have zero taxi drivers. All they do is simply provide a network. They provide a guy with a car who wants to make a little bit of extra money, and
Oh, Uber.
yeah,
Yeah, you
and
said Airbnb. That's funny.
oh, my bad. I must have
It's all
got
right.
it. But, you know,
Airbnb is great though.
oh yeah, definitely. It's a business that's suited for our time, the 21st century, because physical businesses, they're all going out of business. Like they're all shutting down. Like they make no money. Have you ever walked into a deli and you saw like that little dollar on the wall? That's actually, well, what that represents. That means like the first dollar that they ever made in profit. Like that's the first dollar they made out of like 5 years, and it's insane how people are opening up traditional businesses. I'm like, man, like just take it all online. Like, why do you have to have a physical location anymore? You know, we just do all of our business online now. We shop online, we listen to music online, we buy our groceries online. What the hell is the point of going in person? There's none.
And that's what I think was, I'm not saying COVID is a good thing. I will never say that. Absolutely not. But that is one low-key benefit that it has come up where it has forced business to actually take the necessary evolving steps.
Of course. And you know, we're living in a very changing world. You know, I feel like with COVID and everything, it's really just a transfer of wealth now from all these traditional big corporate guys in suits and stuff having these large physical businesses. And you know, people who are running Uber and Airbnb, those are going to be the billionaires. Those are going to be the people on top of, you know, the who the hell is making the most money out the world. You know, it's going to be, of course.
So, all right, I have time. So, how about this? So, do you feel that that the old dogs at top, they're refusing to learn new tricks, or they should also bring in guys like us? They should trust the young people to run businesses because we know pretty much a lot of different things. We know the internet. We mastered it essentially. And I feel like they kind of underestimate the young generation a little bit too much. Yes, we're dumber, quote unquote, or less inexperienced compared to them, but we are very creative and we have a lot of potential as well.
Of course, and you know, I think that's a big problem, especially with the older generation. They're kind of stuck in their ways, like, hey, this is the way we're gonna do things. So therefore, for 100 years, we're just gonna do it just like that. You know, I think that's a very inefficient way to run a business. You know, things are constantly changing
Mm.
every single day. You know, you can't stick to one thing anymore. I'd much rather get 1% out of 100 things than get 100% out of one thing.
I guess one good question to ask you would be, where is it? Oh, I know this is like straying from what we were just talking about, but I think this would be very interesting. Do you find your peers creating companies or just work or just doing what you're doing at a young age like you? And if they're not, why not? I think we can
Um,
kind of address it too.
Yes and no. There's plenty of people in my business who are in my exact position. You know, young college kids, 19 years old, looking to create leverage in their lives. And I've met with a lot of fellow business owners who operate in the same exact industry as me. And you know, I think it's truly inspiring to see, you know, young college kids really get into this type of business. But you know, if people aren't in business for themselves, it's because A, you know, it isn't for them, or B, they haven't heard about it yet. And you know, I'm really just looking to just pay it forward how it was paid forward to me. You know, a lot of people are out there who really need this business and really want to do this business. It's just that they don't know what it is and where they're going to see it and when they're going to see it. You know, that's kind of like my responsibility, especially with contacting like every single person I contact, whether I know them or not. I come in with the mindset where it's like, hey, if I don't contact this guy, he's going to get contacted by the next guy. And who knows that guy's going to be the next billionaire. I don't know if this guy's going to be extremely successful. I might as well see.
So I love that mentality where you're like, it's untapped potential with every single person. I'm just like, what if I'm missing out? What if
Of
what if I
course.
just lost it though?
No, that's exactly like how I approach contacting. It's like, hey, this guy could be the next billionaire and I don't even know it. I could be sitting next to this guy on the bus and he could end up in 10 years, the biggest success ever. Or, 10 years down the line, he just ends up as a bum. We can never really tell somebody's true potential or where they're going to land in the future.
That's what I love about all these business stories. Right? For example, I don't know if you know him, but Shaquille O'Neal, he was when he was younger, right? He was, I think it was like the 90s or like early 2000s or something like that. He was in a hotel babysitting one of his someone's kids, and there was a business meeting going on in this hotel room, and one person came out and then what's going on there? Oh, it's just some stupid company called Google. You want to check it out? Shaq buys a little bit of stock just to screw around with it. Look where it is now. You just never know.
Yeah, man, you never know. You really, realistically, we could be walking down the street and pass by 10 billionaires and we wouldn't even know that. It's absolutely amazing to think about human potential. And that's something that truly excites me, especially in this business. And, the people I work with currently that I personally sponsored, they haven't even reached their destination yet. They're just getting started. And, I'm just looking forward to see, where they end up and, how they pan out in the future. I'm a very long-term thinking type of person. I'm not really thinking short-term when it comes to goals and ambitions. I'm thinking 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line.
I love this thing. Do you think you have any advice that you would feel you would be proud to say and see carried out after this podcast, either to your students or the people you sponsored, or just a general viewer watching this or listening to this? I love you guys, by the way.
Of course, and I love your views too. Anybody that's a friend of my son Juan is automatically a friend of mine. But the biggest advice I could tell you is there's going to be a lot of adversity. There's going to be a lot of crap talking people. There's going to be people that are just negative Nancy's. There's going to be your own friends who don't want to see you really thrive in life because they're not thriving. The thought of you creating generational wealth while they're still working that crappy 9 to 5, they can't imagine that. So what they do? They try to drag you down because they can't see your vision. And your dream is your responsibility. And I think that the best thing about this business that it taught me is that, hey, nobody could ever steal the dream. Like, nobody. Like, your dream is yours. Like, that's your sole intellectual property. Like, nobody can steal the dream unless you allow them to steal the dream. And having a dream is the most important thing in life. If you ever want to get anything done, you're going to have to have a dream about it. You're going to have some type of vision. The unseen creates the scene.
Before we go, I'd like to ask, is there anything you'd like to shout out?
I'd like to shout out my mom, my dad, my sister, my sponsor, Kobe Hall at Kobe is Fire. He's the greatest dude ever. Got me into the business. We're building the business together. We've known each other since high school, freshman year. Went from, a bunch of stupid 14-year-old class clowns to, building our own business and living the American dream. I want to thank all the people that said I can't do this. I want to thank all the people in my fraternity who said, hey, this is stupid. Hey, you're in a pyramid scheme. Hey, this and that. I've had, and pretty much everybody in my organization thinks I'm doing something illegal, immoral, improper. And I just want to say that's my biggest motivation is to really come back into 5-10 years down the line and be like, hey, the people who I called my active brothers, they doubted me. And, look at me now. I'm here. I'm reached a certain level of economic and personal freedom. And I'm just here to go ahead and pay it forward back to the younger generation.
What's your frat, by the way?
Phi Kappa Psi.
Oh, there you go. All right. And if you have any recommendations for specific guests or topics you would like to see in future podcasts,
get Joe Rogan on the podcast, man. That'd be interesting. that's
a cloud
line, man. You're gonna have to do a couple more podcasts before you get to that level.
Okay. No, but do you have any recommendations of a guest you'd like to see or a topic that you would like to be talked about in a future podcast?
Politics, definitely. Politics could definitely go, man. If we started talking about politics like 2 minutes ago, we'd be here for another hour or two. I'm a very political guy. I have some, I wouldn't say extreme views, but I have some very conservative views when it comes to the state of America and everything. Hopefully we could possibly hop on another podcast and just chat about that. You know, my opinion is very interesting.
Do you have like a business name? It was Alexander Lampa
Lampa
LLC.
Lampa
Lampa
Enterprise.
Enterprise. Oh, sorry. Do this. What was that?
Lampa Enterprises LLC.
So we'll be putting that below, guys. Man, this was great. We finished right on the mark. Thank you so much, Alex. Really appreciate your time.
Of course, man. And I just have a quick question. When do you
Yes, sir.
think the podcast is gonna be ready and stuff? Cause I'm trying to go ahead and post that on my Instagram bio ASAP, man. ASAP.
This Saturday, I need the time to edit it and then I get the thumbnail up.
Okay, so probably like next week. I'll just follow up with you then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Awesome. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share the video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and always y'all have a blessed day.